Imagine this, two of the world's most trusted car brands, Nissan and Subaru, collapsing right before our eyes. Factories slowing down, thousands of layoffs, millions of cars delayed or cancelled, and a US president shocked at the scale of the damage. Meanwhile, Canada is quietly rewriting the North American auto map, stepping into the space the US is losing. This isn't just about vehicles, it's about trust, politics, trade, and the very future of American economic leadership. The stage is set for one of the most dramatic shifts in North America's industrial history. Before we get deeper, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below. Do you think the US auto industry can bounce back, or is Canada now the dominant force in North American manufacturing? Your opinion matters, let's discuss. Nissan's devastating losses. Nissan's situation is staggering. The company reports a $4.5 billion loss, accompanied by 20,000 layoffs across multiple plants in North America. Production of its popular Rogue model has been slashed, leaving dealerships struggling to meet customer demand. What makes this situation worse is the timing. After years of stable growth and a strong market presence, Nissan's sudden collapse shocked employees, investors, and consumers alike. This isn't just a company problem, it's an ecosystem problem. Suppliers who rely on Nissan contracts are seeing orders reduced, logistics companies are losing volume, and local communities that depended on factory jobs are now facing uncertainty. The financial and social ripple effects extend far beyond the walls of the Nissan plants. And Nissan's struggles are only part of a larger story. Subaru, another major player, is facing its own crisis that compounds the challenges for the US auto industry. Subaru's crushing struggles. Subaru is projected to lose $2.5 billion, and prices on many of its vehicles have jumped by $750 to $2,000 per car. This increase is a direct result of tariffs, rising production costs, and supply chain disruptions. For consumers, the impact is immediate. Cars are more expensive, availability is limited, and confidence in the market is waning. Dealerships are caught in the middle, trying to balance inventory shortages with frustrated buyers. The combined effect of Nissan and Subaru's downturn is profound. Consumer demand across the US is falling as buyers hesitate to make major purchases, worried about future price increases and availability issues. Smaller suppliers, who make parts for multiple manufacturers, are also struggling to stay afloat. The domino effect is clear: when a few key manufacturers stumble, the entire auto sector feels the shock. Much of this turmoil can be traced back to a single political decision, the 2025 tariffs imposed by President Trump, which broke the USMCA agreement and shook confidence in the American market. Tariffs and policy missteps. Trump's April 2025 tariff decision was intended to protect American automakers, but the results were catastrophic. By imposing high tariffs on imported vehicles and parts, the US raised costs for manufacturers and consumers alike. Cars became more expensive, demand slowed, and foreign companies began to reconsider their investment strategies in the US. Instead of strengthening domestic production, the tariffs eroded trust and confidence. Automakers like Nissan and Subaru had to scale back production, raise prices, and implement layoffs, creating a feedback loop of economic instability. What was intended as a political strategy to boost American industry ended up creating one of the most severe shocks in modern North American auto history. Even American-born companies are not immune to the effects of these policies. Tesla, for example, is experiencing stock drops and growing concerns about long-term viability. Tesla and growing instability. Tesla, long considered the crown jewel of American innovation in autos, is feeling the strain. Stock prices have taken significant hits, and analysts warn that without intervention, the company could face collapse within 2 to 3 years. This demonstrates a broader reality: political decisions and trade policies have far-reaching consequences, and no automaker, domestic or foreign, is immune. The instability in the auto market affects investors, consumers, and international partners alike. As confidence in US manufacturing erodes, companies and investors look for more predictable and stable environments. Tesla's vulnerability signals that even leading American innovators can be disrupted by policy missteps, supply chain issues, and global shifts in trade and trust. While the US struggles, Canada has positioned itself strategically to take advantage of this instability, turning potential losses into an opportunity for growth. Canada's strategic advantage. Canada is emerging as the clear winner in North America's auto market. With an effective 12.5% tariff advantage over the US, along with a $2 billion Windsor Auto Fund, Canada is attracting investment from manufacturers retreating from American plants. Political leaders like Mark Carney and Doug Ford have been proactive, offering stability, incentives, and long-term confidence that the US no longer provides. This strategic approach is reshaping global perceptions. Automakers and investors are increasingly viewing Canada as North America's new automotive anchor. Modernized plants, government incentives, and a stable trade environment make Canada the logical choice for companies seeking predictable growth. Meanwhile, Japan and other international partners are reducing investment in US facilities, signaling a permanent shift in confidence and influence. Japanese manufacturers, who once heavily invested in the US, are now stepping back, while Canada rises as the preferred destination for North American auto production. Japan retreats as Canada rises. Japan's retreat from US auto manufacturing underscores the consequences of broken trade agreements and tariffs. Companies that once trusted US policy now see Canada as a safer, more reliable option. This shift is not temporary, it represents a long-term realignment of global confidence in North America. Canada's rise is significant because it is now controlling the narrative and influencing manufacturing decisions. Factories are expanding, talent is flowing north, and global investors are taking notice. For decades, the US auto industry dominated North America. Today, Canada is steadily taking that role, reshaping the balance of power and leaving the US scrambling to maintain relevance. This change in auto manufacturing is not just a North American story. It has global implications and sends a warning about the fragility of other critical sectors. Global perception and economic lessons. The collapse of major automakers in the US has dramatically shifted global perceptions about the stability and reliability of American industry. Investors and international partners, once confident in the US market, now view it as unpredictable and politically unstable. Canada, on the other hand, is increasingly seen as a reliable, strategically savvy alternative. This shift in perception affects not just the automotive sector but also other high-stakes industries that rely on predictable markets and trust. If the auto industry, a cornerstone of the American economy, can be destabilized so quickly, it raises serious concerns for other critical sectors such as semiconductors, energy production, and artificial intelligence development. These industries depend heavily on long-term planning, international investment, and steady supply chains. The lesson is increasingly clear: political instability, inconsistent trade policies, and broken agreements can create ripple effects that undermine confidence across multiple sectors simultaneously. Global investors and partners will naturally prioritize stability, and this growing perception of unreliability could threaten the US's position as a leader in innovation and industrial capacity, potentially opening the door for other nations to gain influence and market share. With these global shifts in mind, we now arrive at the broader warning for the US economy: if autos can fall this fast, what other industries could be next? The bigger warning. The story of Nissan and Subaru is more than just an auto industry crisis, it serves as a stark cautionary tale for the US economy as a whole. It demonstrates that even industries with decades of history, deep infrastructure, and loyal consumer bases are not immune to the consequences of political mismanagement and broken trade agreements. Tariffs, unpredictable trade policies, and inconsistent governance have tangible economic consequences. These impacts ripple out to affect not only corporations but also millions of workers, local communities,